Every place on Earth has its own way of breathing. Some breathe quickly, with sharp winds and restless sounds. Others breathe slowly, as if time itself has decided to pause. Far out in the Pacific Ocean, where land rises gently from ancient lava and the sea moves in long, unhurried swells, there's a place that breathes more slowly than most. The Galápagos Islands rest there, quietly, patiently, as they have for millions of years. Here, mornings do not rush to arrive. Sunlight drifts in softly, touching black volcanic rock, pale sand, and the still bodies of animals that seem to have nowhere else they need to be. Sea lions lie in loose piles, their chests rising and falling in steady rhythm. Marine iguanas warm themselves on stone, eyes half closed, as if listening to the heat. Giant tortoises move with such calm deliberation that even the air around them feels slower. Welcome to sleepy nature sleep, where the wild grows soft and curiosity becomes calm. Tonight, let your thoughts follow the rhythm of the earth, your breathing settle like evening wind, and your mind wander gently through the quiet wild. In this place, nature does not hurry to impress. There is no need for sudden movement or loud displays. Life here has learned that survival can be gentle, that rest can be part of strength, and that stillness has its own quiet intelligence. The animals of the Galápagos do not flinch at every sound. They do not scatter at every shadow. They exist in a rare state of trust, shaped by isolation and time, by a world where patience has always been rewarded. As you listen, you might notice your own breathing begin to slow. Perhaps your shoulders soften, or your thoughts loosen their grip. That is the invitation of this journey. You are not here to learn quickly or remember facts precisely. You are here to drift, to observe without effort, to let curiosity feel light instead of sharp. If you are listening from far away, maybe from a quiet room, a dimly lit bed, or a place where the day has finally ended, know that you are welcome here. This space is shared gently by many listeners who come simply to rest alongside the wild. If you feel like it, you can quietly join this small community of night wanderers, returning whenever you need calm company. And if this slow journey through nature brings you comfort, your gentle support helps keep these stories flowing, like tides that return again and again to the shore. Tonight, we will wander through a world where evolution took its time, where animals nap openly under the sun, where survival looks less like struggle and more like balance. We will move slowly, following the unhurried lives of creatures who have mastered the art of doing just enough. So settle in now. Let the sounds of the distant sea fade into your imagination. Let the weight of the day ease away. Ahead lies a quiet question, waiting beneath the leaves and stones of these ancient islands. A question about slowness, rest, and what it means to truly belong to the rhythm of nature. Beneath the dark, rounded stones of the Galápagos Islands, there is a quiet question that does not ask to be answered quickly. It rests there, warmed by the sun during the day, cooled by the evening air, returning again and again with each gentle cycle. The question is not spoken aloud, and yet it seems to be carried by the land itself. What happens to life when nothing rushes it? Here, the stones remember patience. They were shaped slowly, born from molten rock that cooled at its own pace, long before footsteps or wings passed over them. Even now, they hold warmth carefully, releasing it back into the air only when the day is ready to soften. Animals move across these stones without urgency, as if they understand that the ground beneath them is steady, reliable, and in no hurry to change. In many places, movement is driven by alertness. Ears tilt quickly. Muscles stay prepared. Rest is brief, shallow, and cautious. But on these islands, life seems to have learned something quieter. When predators are few and the land offers what is needed, stillness becomes safe. And when stillness becomes safe, it becomes natural. The question beneath the lava stones grows clearer in this calm. If survival no longer demands constant motion, what does life choose to do with the extra time? The Galápagos do not answer with words. They respond with posture and rhythm. A sea lion stretches out fully, unconcerned by open space. A tortoise pauses mid-step, not because it must, but because it can. A bird stands close, watching without alarm, its breathing slow and even. These small choices, repeated across generations, begin to feel like a collective agreement between land and life. Perhaps slowness is not the absence of purpose. Perhaps it is a different kind of wisdom. When movement slows, attention widens. The warmth of stone against skin becomes noticeable. The sound of waves grows layered and rich. Shadows lengthen without pressure. Life becomes less about reaching the next moment and more about inhabiting the one already here. As you listen, you may notice this question turning inward as well. What happens when you are not required to hurry? When nothing is waiting to be resolved? When the day or the night asks nothing more than your presence? The islands suggest that rest is not something earned at the end of effort. It is something woven into the design of living. Breathing follows breathing. Light follows dark. Stillness follows motion, just as naturally as tides return to the shore. This is not a place where answers arrive sharply. Instead, they settle like warmth held in stone. The question beneath the lava stones remains open, gentle and ongoing. It invites observation rather than conclusion, listening rather than response. And as we move forward slowly into the lives shaped by this quiet question, there is no need to solve it. It is enough to carry it lightly, letting it rest beside you as the land rests beneath the animals who trust it completely. For now, allow the question to soften. Let it sink beneath thought, beneath effort. Ahead, the islands will show us how life unfolds when it is given permission to move at its own calm, unhurried pace. Before we notice the animals of the Galápagos, we notice the land holding them. It appears quietly, without ceremony, rising from the ocean, as if it has always been there and has no need to announce itself. Dark volcanic rock meets pale sand. Soft green plants cling gently to edges shaped by time. The sea surrounds everything, steady and unbroken, moving in long, patient rhythms. These islands were not formed in a hurry. Layer by layer, they emerged through warmth and cooling, pressure and release, until they settled into their present shapes. Even now, the land feels unfinished in a peaceful way, open to change but never rushed by it. Curved stones rest where they cooled. Lava flows lie still, their once liquid paths now silent and smooth beneath the sky. The air here feels spacious. It carries salt, warmth, and the faint scent of minerals. Breezes arrive without force, brushing across the surface of the islands and continuing on, untroubled by obstacles. There is a sense that the elements cooperate rather than compete, each taking its turn, each knowing when to arrive and when to fade. Water plays a central role in this calm design. The ocean does not crash impatiently against the shore. Instead, it reaches forward, withdraws, and returns again, tracing the same patterns with gentle consistency. Tides rise and fall like breathing, predictable and unhurried. Life along the coast adjusts easily, matching this rhythm without effort. Inland, the terrain shifts gradually. Low vegetation spreads between stones. Cacti stand quietly, storing moisture and light, waiting without complaint. There are few tall trees, and where shade appears, it feels intentional, offered rather than imposed. The openness allows sunlight to move freely, warming surfaces slowly throughout the day and releasing that warmth back into the evening air. This landscape asks very little from the creatures who live upon it. Food arrives in simple forms. Shelter is often unnecessary. The ground itself becomes a resting place, a source of heat, a steady presence beneath still bodies. Over time, life has adapted not to overcome the land, but to settle into it. As you imagine this place, there is no single focal point to hold your attention. Instead, your awareness can drift easily, moving from stone to water, from sky to horizon, without needing to pause anywhere for long. The simplicity creates space. The space invites calm. This gentle overview is not meant to prepare you for action or discovery. It is meant to offer a sense of orientation, a quiet understanding of the stage upon which everything else unfolds. The Galápagos are less a destination and more a mood, shaped by balance, repetition, and ease. As we move deeper into this world, keep this landscape in mind. Let it remain in the background of your thoughts, like a steady breath you no longer need to notice. The animals we meet next are reflections of this land, shaped by its patience, softened by its rhythms, and carried forward by its quiet permission to rest. For now, allow the islands to settle gently into your imagination, holding you as calmly as they hold the life that belongs to them. Morning in the Galápagos does not arrive with sharp edges. Light gathers slowly, spreading across the ground in pale layers, warming stone and soil, without asking anything in return. In this gentle beginning, the giant tortoise is already awake, though awake here means something quieter than alertness. Its eyes are open, its body grounded, its presence calm and complete. The tortoise does not rise quickly. There is no sudden shift from rest to movement. Instead, time stretches around it, allowing each small adjustment to unfold fully. A slow breath expands its shell, another settles back in. The world waits, and the tortoise seems to know that it can take as long as it needs. These ancient animals carry their lives with them, their shells smooth and heavy, shaped over many decades. Movement costs energy, and energy is something they have learned to spend carefully. So they begin the day without haste, letting warmth seep gradually into their bodies. Sunlight touches the shell first, then the thick skin of the neck. then the sturdy legs that remain still until they are fully ready. Science tells us that giant tortoises are cold-blooded, relying on external warmth to guide their pace. But here, the explanation feels softer. It feels less like a mechanism and more like an agreement between body and world. The tortoise does not resist the rhythm of the morning, it joins it. When movement finally comes, it is measured and deliberate. A single step forward presses gently into the earth. The ground responds by holding the weight without complaint. Another step follows, then another, each one complete in itself. There is no destination that needs to be reached quickly. Feeding, resting, wandering, all happen within the same unbroken flow. Around the tortoise, the island remains quiet. Other animals rest nearby, unbothered by its presence. Birds may pass overhead, casting slow shadows that drift across the shell. The air stays warm and still. Everything seems to understand the pace being set. The giant tortoise has lived through countless mornings like this. Some individuals have watched generations pass, carrying memory not in stories, but in continuity. Their calm is not learned quickly. It is shaped over time, reinforced by days that unfold without threat or urgency. As you imagine this scene, you may notice something in your own body responding. The slow breathing, the grounded stillness, the sense that nothing needs to be adjusted right now. The tortoise offers this feeling simply by being what it is. In a world that often values speed, the giant tortoise stands as a quiet alternative. It shows that life can be steady without being stagnant, that progress does not always require effort, that presence itself can be enough. As the morning continues, the tortoise remains unhurried. It will feed when it feels ready. It will rest when warmth fades. The day will hold it gently from beginning to end. And as we move forward in this journey, this unrushed morning stays with us, a reminder that calm is not something to chase. It is something to inhabit, step by slow step, breath by gentle breath. Along the warm edges of the Galápagos shoreline, rest is not hidden. It unfolds openly, in full view of the sea and sky. Here, sea lions practice the gentle art of public napping, their bodies draped across sand, rock, and wooden docks as if these places were made specifically for them. They rest in loose gatherings, close enough to feel one another's presence, yet relaxed enough to remain separate. Flippers overlap softly. Whiskered faces tilt toward the sun. Chests rise and fall in slow, even patterns, each breath unhurried and complete. There is no tension in their posture, no readiness to spring away. Sleep arrives without apology. The shoreline itself seems to support this calm. The sand holds warmth from earlier light. The rocks offer steady surfaces shaped smooth by time and water. Gentle waves arrive and retreat nearby, their sound constant and reassuring, like a familiar rhythm that never asks for attention. Sea lions sleep often, and they sleep deeply. Their world allows for it. With few natural disturbances and a landscape that offers safety, rest becomes woven into the day rather than reserved for night alone. Napping happens between moments, not as an interruption, but as a continuation of living. From time to time, one sea lion shifts slightly, adjusting position with a slow stretch. Another exhales, releasing a long breath that seems to carry the weight of nothing at all. Sometimes a soft sound escapes, a low sigh, a quiet murmur, before stillness returns. These small movements do not break the calm, they deepen it. Science might explain that sea lions regulate energy carefully, balancing time spent feeding with long periods of rest. But watching them here, the explanation feels almost unnecessary. Their bodies already know what to do. Rest is not planned, it is responded to. There is a gentle humor in how openly they sleep. Flippers lifted slightly, heads tilted back, mouths relaxed. It is the kind of sleep that forgets to maintain appearances. Nothing is guarded, nothing is concealed. It is rest without performance. As you imagine the scene, your attention may soften. There is no need to focus sharply on any one animal. Your awareness can drift from one resting form to another, then outward toward the sea, then back again. The simplicity invites the mind to slow its own movement. Sea lions remind us that safety changes behavior. When fear fades into the background, the body chooses ease. Muscles release, breathing deepens. The need to stay alert dissolves gently, replaced by trust in the environment and in the moment. The shoreline continues to hold them. The sun shifts slowly overhead. Shadows lengthen and shorten without consequence. Sleep comes and goes, unannounced, unjudged. And as we continue this quiet journey, the sea lions leave us with a subtle lesson. Rest does not need to be earned. It does not need to be hidden away. Sometimes, it is enough to lie where you are, supported by the world beneath you, and allow stillness to arrive naturally. When the tide recedes and the sea grows calm, dark shapes begin to gather along the volcanic shore. Marine iguanas rest there quietly, their bodies stretched across warm stone, their spines outlined gently against the sky. They do not hurry to arrange themselves. Each one settles where it feels right, as if guided by an internal sense of balance rather than any external cue. These iguanas spend time in the cool water feeding, and when they return, they bring the chill of the sea with them. But there is no urgency in warming up. They simply lie still, letting the sun do what it has always done. Light reaches them slowly, touching the ridges of their backs, seeping into their skin, and traveling inward, layer by layer. The volcanic rock beneath them plays its quiet role. It absorbs heat steadily, holding it without fluctuation, offering warmth back to the resting bodies above. The iguanas remain motionless, eyes half closed, breathing slow and even. This is not sleep exactly, but it carries the same softness, a state where the body is present, yet the mind seems distant and untroubled. Science explains that marine iguanas are cold-blooded, dependent on external warmth to regulate their energy. But here, the process feels less mechanical and more meditative. The iguana does not simply gain heat. It receives it patiently, without resistance. Occasionally, one shifts slightly, lifting its head or adjusting a limb. The movement is minimal, almost symbolic, as if acknowledging comfort rather than seeking it. Afterward, stillness returns, deeper than before. Time stretches around these moments, unbroken and forgiving. Groups of iguanas rest together, their dark forms overlapping like pieces of a living landscape. There is no competition for space, no visible tension. Each body finds its place, and the group settles into a shared quiet. The shoreline feels held by this collective calm. As you imagine this scene, notice how the idea of warmth changes. It's no longer something chaste or controlled. It is something allowed. The iguanas show how rest can be active without being busy, how stillness can serve a purpose without feeling demanding. The sun continues its slow arc overhead. The sea remains nearby, patient and steady. When the iguanas eventually return to the water, it will happen without ceremony. For now, there is nothing to prepare for. This moment of warming is complete in itself. It does not lead urgently to the next. It exists simply because it needs to. As you listen, your own body may respond subtly. Muscles soften. Breathing steadies. The need to adjust or improve fades. The marine iguanas offer a quiet reminder that balance does not require effort, only time, trust, and the willingness to remain still long enough for warmth to reach all the way in. In the Galápagos, birds move through the air and across the ground with an ease that feels almost unguarded. They perch low, stand close, and remain still even as the world passes gently around them. There's no sudden tension in their bodies, no sharp alertness held in reserve. Their calm feels settled, as if it has always belonged to them. A bird rests on a rock, feathers lying smoothly along its sides. Its chest rises and falls in a slow, steady rhythm. The eyes remain open, but not watchful. They soften rather than scan. Nearby sounds, the breeze, the distant surf. The quiet movements of other animals blend together without demanding a reaction. This ease is shaped by the islands themselves. Over time, isolation has reduced the need for constant vigilance. The land does not surprise its inhabitants. The patterns of day and night repeat faithfully. Food appears in familiar places. Space is open and predictable. In this setting, fear has little to practice. Science might describe this as a lack of learned threat response. But from a distance, it feels more like trust. Trust in the ground beneath the feet. Trust in the air that carries wings. Trust that the next moment will resemble the last in its gentleness. Birds here often remain where they are, even when approached. They do not scatter reflexively. Instead, they observe with curiosity that feels light rather than cautious. Their bodies stay relaxed, balanced easily on thin legs, feathers shifting slightly with the breeze. As you imagine this scene, notice the difference between alertness and awareness. Alertness tightens, awareness opens. These birds seem aware without being tense, present without being guarded. Their calm spreads outward, softening the space around them. The sky remains wide above, unchanged by their stillness. Clouds drift slowly, casting passing shadows that slide across feathers and stone. The birds do not react. Shadows come and go, just as they always have. There is something quietly humorous in how close these birds allow life to come. They seem unbothered by proximity, uninterested in maintaining distance. It is as if the concept of intrusion never fully took root here. This relaxed behavior does not mean the birds are unaware of their surroundings. They simply do not treat every moment as a potential disturbance. Energy is conserved. Attention is distributed gently rather than focused sharply. As your thoughts drift alongside them, you may feel your own sense of watchfulness easing. The urge to anticipate, to prepare, to stay ahead begins to soften. There's nothing here that requires a quick response. The birds continue to perch, to stand, to exist quietly within their space. Their calm is not dramatic. It is consistent. It does not need explanation. And as we move forward, this gentle presence stays with us, a reminder that not every environment asks for readiness, and not every moment asks for reaction. Sometimes, awareness can rest, wings folded loosely, trusting the air to remain kind. On the open ground of the Galápagos, where sky feels close and the earth remains warm, blue-footed boobies move with a rhythm that seems gently playful. Their steps are careful and unhurried, each one placed with soft intention. Bright blue feet lift and lower against pale sand and dark stone, creating a quiet contrast that feels almost like a private joke shared with the land. When these birds begin their courtship, there is no rush to impress. Movements unfold slowly, deliberately, as if time itself has agreed to linger. A foot rises, pauses in the air, then settles back down. Wings stretch slightly, then rest. Heads tilt, not sharply, but with curiosity that feels relaxed rather than focused. The dance does not demand attention. It simply exists. There is no sense of performance meant to overwhelm. Instead, it feels like a ritual practiced for its own comfort, a familiar pattern repeated gently across generations. From a scientific view, the blue color of the feet reflects health and vitality, a quiet signal passed between birds. But watching the slow rhythm of the movement, the explanation fades into the background. What remains is the feeling of ease. Nothing is forced, nothing is hurried. The surrounding world remains calm as the dance continues. Other birds rest nearby. The wind drifts across the ground without disturbance. The sea breathes softly in the distance. The environment seems to accept the dance as part of its ongoing stillness. There is something lightly humorous in the careful lifting of feet, the deliberate pacing, the pauses that linger just long enough to feel unnecessary. And yet, those pauses are exactly what make the dance complete. Without them, the movement would feel rushed, unfinished. As you imagine this scene, allow yourself to notice the absence of urgency. The birds are not chasing a result. They are inhabiting a moment. Each step is complete before the next begins. Time expands around these small gestures, giving them space to feel meaningful without pressure. The blue-footed boobies seem unconcerned with how long the dance takes. They do not glance outward for approval. Their attention remains softly within the rhythm itself. This gentle courtship offers a quiet reflection. Even important moments in life do not always need speed. Sometimes significance deepens when it is allowed to unfold slowly, with room for pauses and repetition. As the dance eventually comes to rest, there is no sharp ending. Movement simply fades back into stillness. The birds remain close, calm and untroubled, as if nothing extraordinary has happened. And perhaps that is the lesson they leave behind, that even connection, even ritual, can be soft. That meaning does not need to arrive loudly. It can step forward quietly, blue feet touching earth, then rest again, content to let the day continue at its own gentle pace. Before the Galápagos are seen, they can be heard, not in sharp or demanding sounds, but in layers of quiet that rest gently upon one another. The island does not speak loudly, it hums softly, offering a soundscape that feels continuous rather than composed. Waves arrive first. They do not crash or insist. They roll in, meet the shore, and release themselves back into the sea. The rhythm is steady, familiar, and unchanging. Each wave sounds much like the one before it, and that sameness brings comfort rather than boredom. It is the sound of something dependable, repeating without expectation. Above the water, wind moves slowly across open space. It passes through feathers, over stone, and along low vegetation with a muted whisper. The breeze never stays long. It brushes past and drifts on, leaving silence in its wake. Animal sounds appear gently within this quiet. A distant call from a bird floats briefly, then dissolves. A soft exhale from a resting sea lion blends easily into the air. These sounds do not compete. They do not overlap loudly or interrupt one another. Each arrives, exists, and fades without urgency. The absence of noise feels intentional, though it is simply natural. There are no engines here, no constant mechanical rhythms. The island's sounds come from living things and moving elements, all operating at their own calm pace. As you listen, you may notice how your attention begins to soften. There is no need to focus on any one sound. The soundscape is meant to be received as a whole, like a gentle blanket rather than a sequence of events. Even silence has texture here. Between waves and wind, there are moments of near stillness where the island seems to pause entirely. These quiet spaces are not empty. They're full of waiting, holding the potential for the next soft sound to arrive. This layered quiet shapes behavior. Animals do not need to raise their voices. Movement does not require announcement. Life fits easily within the existing sound rather than trying to stand above it. As you imagine this soundscape, notice your own breathing. It may begin to align naturally with the rhythm of the waves. Inhale as water approaches, exhale as it retreats. There is no need to force this alignment. It happens on its own, guided by repetition. The island continues its gentle hum through day and night. The sounds shift slightly as light changes, but the calm remains. Nothing startles the ear, nothing demands attention. And as we continue this journey, let this soundscape remain with you. Allow it to soften the edges of thought, to smooth the spaces between moments. Here, rest is not only seen, it is heard, carried quietly on the breath of the island itself. As the day in the Galápagos begins to loosen its hold, the change arrives without announcement. Light softens gradually, easing from bright warmth into muted gold, then into pale blue. There is no moment where the day ends abruptly. It simply thins, allowing evening to step in quietly. Animals do not gather themselves in haste. There is no sudden retreat, no signal to seek shelter quickly. The shoreline remains calm, the land open and accepting. Sea lions stay where they are, bodies still stretched comfortably across sand and stone. Birds remain perched, feathers gently shifting as air cools. The world does not ask them to go anywhere else. The sun lowers slowly, and shadows lengthen without urgency. Each shadow settles into place, as if it has been waiting patiently all along. Warmth lingers in the ground, held by stone and soil, offering comfort even as light fades. This gradual transition shapes how life responds. Without the need to hurry, bodies adjust naturally. Movement slows further, breathing deepens. Rest arrives not as a requirement, but as a continuation of the calm that already exists. As evening progresses, colors soften. The sky loses its sharp edges, blending into tones that feel gentle and distant. The ocean reflects this shift, darkening slightly, its surface smoothing as the wind eases. Some animals remain awake, though their wakefulness feels quiet. Others drift into sleep where they already are, trusting the open land to hold them through the night. There is no separation between day space and night space. The same ground supports both. Science might explain how predictable light cycles influence circadian rhythms, guiding rest and activity. But watching this slow sunset, the explanation feels secondary. The body seems to understand evening instinctively, responding with softness rather than instruction. As you imagine this scene, notice how the absence of rushing changes the feeling of time. Minutes stretch gently. There is no sense of being behind or ahead. The day has given what it will give. Nothing more is expected. This is a place where night does not arrive as something to prepare for. It arrives as something already familiar. Darkness settles like a thin blanket, light enough to breathe beneath. The sounds of the island remain steady. Waves continue their rhythm. The wind slows further. Occasional animal calls appear and fade, blending easily into the growing quiet. As the sun finally disappears beyond the horizon, there is no dramatic shift. The world simply continues, slightly dimmer, slightly cooler, unchanged in its calm. And as we continue onward, this unhurried sunset stays with us. It offers a reminder that endings do not always require effort. Sometimes they arrive naturally, asking only that we remain where we are, allowing light to fade and rest to follow in its own gentle time. In the Galápagos, change does not arrive suddenly. It drifts in, settles, and becomes part of the landscape before anyone notices it has happened at all. Evolution here feels less like a series of sharp turns and more like a long, unbroken line, drawn slowly, patiently, over many quiet generations. These islands were shaped in isolation, held at a distance by wide water and steady currents. Over time, that distance became a kind of protection. Without constant interruption, life was allowed to experiment gently. Small adjustments accumulated. Subtle differences were preserved. Nothing needed to rush toward a solution. Animals adapted not by becoming faster or louder, but by becoming more efficient in stillness. Energy was conserved. Movements softened. Behaviors that favored calm and balance continued, generation after generation, until they felt effortless. A bird's posture, a tortoise's pace, an iguana's choice to rest rather than move. Each of these is a quiet outcome of time spent without pressure. Evolution here did not demand urgency. It offered patience instead. Science often speaks of adaptation as response, but in the Galápagos, adaptation feels more like listening. The land offered certain conditions, predictable rhythms, limited disturbance, steady resources, and life adjusted itself gently to match. Over time, this matching became seamless. As you imagine this slow unfolding, notice how little drama is required for lasting change. There are no sudden leaps forward, no moments of tension, just repetition, consistency, and the freedom to remain. This long view of time changes how progress feels. Progress is not measured in speed or intensity. It is measured in harmony, in how comfortably life fits within its surroundings, in how little effort is required to simply continue. The animals do not carry awareness of their own history. They do not know they are the result of millions of years of quiet adjustment. They simply live within the shapes that time has given them, and those shapes feel natural, unremarkable, and calm. As you listen, your thoughts may begin to slow as well. The idea that change can be gentle, that growth can be nearly invisible, offers a sense of ease. There is no need to hurry toward becoming something else. Sometimes, becoming happens while resting. The islands themselves reflect this truth. They continue to shift, almost imperceptibly, shaped by wind, water, and warmth. Nothing forces them. Nothing resists. The process continues because it always has. Evolution that took its time leaves behind a world that feels settled, not finished, but at ease with where it is. A world where life moves slowly because it can. And as we move forward, carry this quiet perspective with you. Let it soften expectations and ease the pull of urgency. Here, time is not something to outrun. It is something to move alongside, steady, patient, and calm. Across the Galápagos Islands, wide stretches of dark lava lie quietly beneath the open sky. Their surfaces are smooth in places, textured in others, shaped long ago by flowing heat that has since grown still. These lava fields no longer move, yet they continue to play a gentle role in the rhythm of the islands, holding warmth carefully through the turning of the day. As sunlight settles onto the black stone, it is absorbed slowly, almost generously. The rock does not reflect the light away. It receives it, storing the warmth within its dense body. Hour by hour, the temperature shifts subtly, unnoticed by the casual observer but deeply felt by the life resting above. Animals arrive without ceremony. A marine iguana stretches out, body aligned with the stone. A bird perches low, feet pressed lightly against the surface. A tortoise pauses, letting the warmth reach upward through its shell. None of them rush. They trust the lava to do what it has always done. The lava fields release heat gradually, long after the sun has softened and begun its descent. This slow exchange creates a steady environment, one that changes gently rather than abruptly. Even as the air cools, the ground remains comforting, offering a quiet continuity between day and night. Science explains this as thermal mass, the ability of dense material to store and release heat over time. But standing here, the concept feels less technical and more intimate. The lava becomes a companion to rest, a silent partner in stillness. There is no urgency in how animals respond to this warmth. They do not search frantically for comfort. They settle where they are, bodies relaxing as the stone supports them. Muscles release, breathing steadies. The warmth moves inward at its own pace, reaching bones and skin without effort. As you imagine this scene, notice how the idea of warmth becomes layered. It is not only the warmth of the sun or the stone, but the warmth of consistency, of knowing that comfort will remain available, that the ground will not suddenly grow cold. This steady warmth shapes behavior over time. Life learns that it can rest openly, that energy does not need to be conserved through tension, that the land itself offers support. The lava fields, once born from intense heat, now represent the opposite. They embody calm after transformation, stability after movement. They remind us that even the most dramatic beginnings can settle into quiet usefulness. As night approaches, the lava continues to release its stored warmth, a final gift from the day. Animals remain still, unbothered by the cooling air. The transition feels seamless, and as we continue this journey, the lava fields offer a quiet lesson that what we absorb gently can be shared slowly. That warmth, once received, does not need to be spent all at once. It can be held, then released gradually, supporting rest long after the source has faded from view. Around the Galápagos Islands, the sea moves with a confidence that does not require attention. Tides arrive and retreat quietly, guided by distant forces that feel steady and familiar. There is no sudden surge, no sharp boundary between water and land. The ocean simply shifts its position, adjusting the edge of the world a little at a time. Along the shoreline, this gentle movement shapes daily life. Rocks that were dry moments ago become lightly washed. Shallow pools fill and empty. Sand darkens, then dries again. These changes happen slowly enough that nothing needs to react quickly. Animals living close to the water understand this rhythm without thought. They do not wait for signals or alarms. They move when it feels right, pause when it does not. A sea lion rests near the waterline, unconcerned by the tide's gradual approach. A bird stands patiently, allowing the sea to come closer before stepping aside. The tide does not hurry them. It seems to move with awareness, as if respecting the pace of everything it touches. Each wave arrives much like the last, smoothing rather than reshaping, repeating rather than surprising. Science explains tides through gravity and orbit, through the pull of the moon and the rotation of the earth. But here, these forces feel distant and abstract. What remains is the experience of reliability. The water will come, the water will go. Nothing more is required. As you imagine this scene, notice how predictability creates calm. When change is gradual and consistent, the body relaxes into it. Muscles do not tense, attention does not sharpen. There is time to adjust without effort. The sound of the tide reflects this softness. Water slides over stone, pauses, then retreats. The rhythm does not demand listening. It invites it. You can notice it or let it fade into the background, knowing it will continue either way. This gentle arrival shapes feeding, resting, and movement along the coast. Animals align their activities with the tide, not through planning, but through familiarity. The rhythm is learned through repetition, becoming part of the environment itself. As evening approaches, the tide continues its quiet work. The edge of the sea shifts slightly, then holds. The world feels balanced, neither advancing nor withdrawing too far. The tide does not announce its presence, and it does not mark its departure. It leaves behind smooth stone, refreshed sand, and a sense of continuity. And as we move forward, this calm movement of water stays with us. It offers a reminder that change does not need to be sudden to be meaningful. Sometimes the most powerful shifts arrive quietly, adjust the world gently, and move on without leaving a trace of disturbance behind. In the Galápagos, energy is treated with quiet respect. It is not wasted, and it is not hoarded. It flows slowly through the lives of animals, guided by rhythms that favor balance over effort. Here, movement happens only when it feels necessary, and rest fills the spaces in between. Animals on these islands have learned, over long stretches of time, that stillness is not the opposite of living, it is part of it. A tortoise pauses between steps, allowing strength to return without force. A sea lion stretches once, then settles back into rest. A bird remains perched, body light and relaxed, conserving energy without even seeming to notice. Science describes this as efficiency. Calories are limited, resources are steady but simple. Survival favors those who spend carefully. But from within the calm of the islands, this careful use of energy feels natural rather than calculated. The environment supports this quiet balance. Temperatures remain relatively gentle. Food appears in predictable ways. The need for constant motion fades. Bodies respond by softening, by choosing comfort whenever possible. Breathing slows, muscles remain loose, posture becomes relaxed rather than alert. Energy stays stored, available when needed, but not demanded by every moment. As you imagine this gentle economy, notice how different it feels from urgency. There is no sense of being behind, no pressure to keep moving. Energy is not something to be pushed through the body. It is something that rests there, waiting patiently. Animals here do not rush from one task to the next. Feeding blends into resting. Resting blends into light movement. The transitions are smooth, almost invisible. Nothing is sharply divided. Even digestion happens slowly, supported by long pauses and warmth. The body takes its time with each process, trusting that time itself is an ally rather than a constraint. This careful flow of energy shapes the mood of the islands. The air feels unhurried. The land feels supportive. Life moves gently because it can. As your attention drifts alongside this rhythm, you may feel your own sense of effort begin to soften. The idea that rest can be productive, that stillness can sustain, offers relief. There is no need to justify slowing down. The economy of energy teaches a simple lesson without instruction. That balance does not require constant action. That living fully does not mean moving constantly. As we continue forward, let this quiet principle stay with you. Allow your own energy to settle. Let breathing deepen without direction. Here, in the slow economy of the islands, there's enough time for everything, and nothing needs to be spent all at once. In the Galápagos, afternoons arrive softly and seem to linger longer than expected. The sun climbs to a comfortable height, not harsh, not demanding, and the light begins to stretch across the land. Shadows grow wider and slower, drifting across rock and sand like gentle companions rather than markers of time. This is the quietest part of the day. Activity fades without stopping completely. Movement becomes optional. Animals settle into long pauses, allowing warmth and stillness to do most of the work. Sea lions remain where they rested earlier, bodies turned slightly to adjust to the sun's angle. Their flippers lie loosely, no longer needed for balance or motion. Breathing deepens, matching the slow expansion of the afternoon itself. Tortoises pause beneath open sky or near low vegetation, their heads lowered comfortably. They do not seek shade urgently. They let the warmth decide when it is enough. When they move, it is only a few steps, just enough to remain comfortable. Birds perch quietly, wings folded close, eyes half-lidded. The air is still enough that flight feels unnecessary. There's no reason to travel far. Everything needed is already near. The heat of the afternoon does not press. It wraps gently, encouraging rest rather than avoidance. The land holds warmth evenly, and the breeze arrives occasionally, just enough to soften the edges. Science might describe how animals reduce activity during warmer hours to conserve energy. But here, the behavior feels less like a strategy and more like listening. Bodies respond to the atmosphere intuitively, allowing the day to slow them naturally. As you imagine the scene, notice how the afternoon feels open-ended. There is no clear boundary marking its beginning or end. Time loosens its grip, and moments stretch comfortably, unmeasured. The quiet becomes layered. Distant waves, the faint rustle of wind, an occasional shift of weight. Each sound floats briefly, then settles back into silence. This long afternoon invites reflection without demanding thought. It is a space where awareness can drift, where attention does not need to hold tightly to anything. The mind can rest as easily as the body. As shadows lengthen further, nothing changes abruptly. The afternoon does not hurry toward evening. It eases into it, step by gentle step. Animals remain at ease, trusting the day to continue holding them. There is no preparation for what comes next, no anticipation, only presence. And as we continue onward, this stretching afternoon leaves a subtle imprint. It reminds us that time does not always need to be filled. Sometimes it can simply expand, offering space for rest, for softness, and for the quiet pleasure of doing very little at all. Across the Galápagos Islands, plants grow with a patience that feels deeply settled. They do not push upward quickly or spread outward without pause. Instead, they wait. They listen to the land, the air, and the slow signals carried by light and moisture. Growth here is not a race, it is a response. Low shrubs rest between stones, their leaves firm and unhurried. Cacti rise gradually, storing what they need and letting the rest pass by. Roots move quietly beneath the surface, exploring without urgency, finding stability rather than speed. Nothing strains toward the future. Everything remains grounded in the present. Rain does not arrive often, and when it does, it comes gently. Plants receive it without excitement, absorbing moisture slowly, holding it carefully. They do not assume more will come soon. They trust what is given and adapt to its rhythm. The sunlight that reaches these plants is steady and generous. Leaves turn toward it naturally, not dramatically. Photosynthesis unfolds quietly, moment by moment, creating energy without display. Growth happens in increments so small they cannot be seen in a single day. Science might explain this as adaptation to limited resources, thick leaves, slow metabolism, careful storage. But standing here, the explanation feels softer. It feels like restraint chosen over excess, patience practiced until it becomes instinct. As you imagine this plant life, notice the absence of urgency. There is no visible effort to hurry the process. Leaves do not tremble with expectation. Stems do not reach beyond their comfort. Everything grows when conditions feel right, and rests when they do not. This patience shapes the entire landscape. Space remains open. Visibility stretches far. Nothing crowds or overwhelms. The land feels breathable, allowing wind and light to pass through easily. Animals move among these plants with the same calm. There's no sense of competition for space. Each form fits within the others, leaving room to exist without friction. As your attention drifts, you may notice how comforting this restraint feels. The idea that waiting can be productive, that progress does not always announce itself, that something meaningful can be happening even when nothing seems to change. Plants here do not hurry toward bloom. They bloom when ready. They shed leaves when necessary. They endure dry periods without protest, knowing that stillness is part of survival. The patience of plant life offers a quiet lesson. That timing matters more than speed, that readiness cannot be forced, that rest and growth are not opposites, but partners. As we continue onward, let this gentle waiting remain with you. Allow your own thoughts to slow. Let ideas rest without needing resolution. Like the plants of the Galápagos, you are allowed to wait for the right moment, breathing steadily, rooted calmly, trusting time to unfold at its own unhurried pace. In the Galápagos, sharing space feels natural. Animals rest close to one another without tension, their bodies arranged in quiet proximity, each finding comfort without concern for boundaries. The land offers enough, and over time, life has learned that there is little reason to compete. A sea lion lies beside another, their forms touching lightly, neither shifting away nor pressing closer. Nearby, an iguana warms itself on the same stretch of stone, unmoved by the presence of others. Birds perch along low edges, spaced just enough to feel at ease. No one guards territory aggressively. No one seems in a hurry to claim more than is needed. This calm coexistence is shaped by the rhythm of the islands. Resources appear steadily. Food is found without struggle. Resting places are plentiful. The environment does not ask animals to rush or defend constantly. Over time, this steadiness has softened behavior, allowing life to unfold without friction. Science might describe this as ecological balance, where species occupy different roles and reduce overlap. But watching these neighbors rest together, the explanation feels quieter. It feels like familiarity, like an understanding that space can be shared without loss. As you imagine this scene, notice how the absence of competition changes the atmosphere. There is no tension in the air, no alertness waiting to be triggered. The world feels settled, as if it has found a comfortable arrangement and sees no reason to change it. Animals here seem to understand one another's rhythms. They move around each other slowly, without abrupt shifts. When one settles, another adjusts slightly, not out of necessity, but out of ease. These small accommodations happen without thought, repeated gently over generations. The land itself supports this harmony. Open spaces allow distance when desired. Warm stone invites rest without exclusivity. The sea provides nourishment broadly, not favoring one over another. As your attention drifts through this quiet cooperation, you may feel your own sense of comparison soften. The need to measure, to compete, to stay ahead begins to fade. There is relief in realizing that not every environment demands distinction. Here, difference exists without division. Each species follows its own pattern, yet all move within the same calm frame. Their lives intersect briefly, then drift apart without consequence. This gentle coexistence leaves behind a subtle lesson. That balance can emerge when there is enough trust in the environment. That sharing does not always require negotiation. Sometimes it simply happens when urgency disappears. As we continue onward, let this image remain with you. Neighbors resting side by side, unbothered, unhurried. In this world, there is space for everyone, and enough time for all of them to simply be. In the Galápagos, feeding is not a moment of urgency. It unfolds gently, woven into the day like a quiet habit rather than an event. Animals approach food without haste, guided by familiarity and patience, trusting that what they need will be there when they arrive. A tortoise lowers its head slowly toward low vegetation, taking time with each bite. There is no quick movement, no competition nearby. Chewing happens steadily, unmeasured, as if the act itself is part of resting. Between bites, the tortoise pauses, breathing calmly, letting warmth and stillness settle deeper into its body. Along the shore, marine iguanas graze on algae when the tide allows. They move carefully, step by step, entering the water without rush and returning just as quietly. Feeding does not interrupt rest, it blends into it. Afterward, they settle again on warm rock, letting digestion happen at its own pace. Sea lions drift through the water when they feed, their movements smooth and unforced. There is no visible scramble, no sharp turns. When they return to land, they resume rest as if nothing separate has occurred. The body seems to know when enough has been taken. Birds peck lightly, scanning the ground or water with relaxed attention. They do not dart frantically. They observe, select, and pause. Even feeding becomes a moment of awareness rather than action. Science explains how predictable food sources reduce competition and stress. But here, the explanation fades into the background. What stands out is the absence of tension. Bodies remain loose, breathing stays even. There is no sense of urgency pushing behavior forward. As you imagine these scenes, notice how feeding feels almost secondary. It is important, yet it does not dominate the day. There is room for pauses, for wandering attention, for rest before and after. Digestion unfolds slowly as well. Animals remain still, allowing the body to work quietly. Warmth supports the process. Time stretches comfortably, offering space for nourishment to settle fully. This calm approach to feeding shapes the entire rhythm of life. When meals are not rushed, the day does not fracture into tasks. Everything flows together: rest, movement, nourishment, without sharp edges. As your thoughts drift alongside this rhythm, you may feel your own relationship with time soften. The idea that nourishment does not need to be hurried can be comforting. That taking time allows fullness to arrive naturally. The islands continue to offer food without insistence. The land provides. The sea provides. animals receive without fear of scarcity. And as we move forward, this gentle feeding remains with us. It reminds us that even essential acts can be quiet, that care does not need intensity. Sometimes, nourishment is most complete when it arrives slowly and is received without hurry in a world that trusts itself to provide. In the Galápagos, calm is not something learned later. It is something that begins early, woven gently into the first experiences of life. Young animals grow within a world that does not demand haste, and so they absorb stillness as naturally as warmth or light. A young sea lion rests beside an older one, its body smaller, its movement softer but already familiar. It shifts slightly, then settles again, matching the slow rhythm of the adult nearby. There is no instruction given, no correction needed. The lesson arrives through presence alone. On warm stone, young marine iguanas lie close to others, their bodies pressed lightly against shared heat. They remain still for long moments, eyes half closed, learning through sensation rather than effort. The ground supports them. The sun warms them. The group holds them. Young birds stand near their parents, feet steady, wings folded neatly. They watch without urgency, noticing how little movement is required to remain comfortable. They do not startle easily. They do not rush into flight. Their attention drifts calmly, taking in sound and space without tension. Science tells us that behavior is shaped early, influenced by environment and repetition. But here, learning feels less like adaptation and more like inheritance. Calm passes quietly from one generation to the next, reinforced by days that unfold gently and nights that arrive without disruption. There is a softness in how young animals explore. They take small steps, pause often, and rest frequently. Curiosity appears briefly, then fades back into stillness. Nothing pushes them forward. Nothing pulls them away. As you imagine these young lives, notice how safety changes growth. When the world does not threaten, exploration does not need to be sharp or fast. Learning happens slowly, layered over time, without pressure to master anything quickly. The environment itself acts as a teacher. Warmth teaches rest. Predictable rhythms teach trust. Open space teaches ease. The young do not need to search for these lessons. They are surrounded by them. Occasionally, a young animal stirs, testing a movement or shifting position. The motion is brief and gentle. Soon, stillness returns deeper than before. The body seems to know when enough has been done. As your thoughts drift alongside these scenes, you may feel a quiet reassurance. The idea that learning does not always require effort, that growth can happen while resting, that becoming can unfold without struggle. The Galápagos offers its young a rare gift, a beginning shaped by calm, and in return, those young carry that calm forward, continuing a rhythm that feels settled and kind. As we move onward, let this image remain with you. Young lives resting easily, learning the world not through urgency, but through patience. Here, stillness is not taught, it is simply lived from the very beginning. Across the Galápagos Islands, there are paths that do not announce themselves. They are not carved sharply into the land, nor do they hurry from one place to another. Instead, they appear as faint impressions, slightly smoothed stone, gently pressed earth, formed by many slow journeys taken over a very long time. These paths were not made by urgency. They were shaped by repetition, a tortoise passing the same way each day, step after steady step. Sea lions drifting from shore to shade, returning again without concern for efficiency. Birds landing where they always have, feet finding familiar ground without thought. Each passage leaves almost nothing behind, and yet, over time, the land remembers. The memory is subtle, a curve in the rock, a softened edge, a place where movement feels easier simply because it has happened before. Animals follow these paths instinctively. There is no scanning for shortcuts, no reason to arrive sooner. The path is not a means to an end. It is part of the experience itself. Walking becomes a continuation of resting, and resting becomes a pause within walking. As a tortoise moves along one of these routes, its pace remains unchanged. The ground supports each step evenly. There is no uneven terrain demanding adjustment. The path has learned the tortoise's weight, and the tortoise has learned the path's shape. Their relationship is quiet and mutual. Science might describe this as habit formation or landscape use. But standing here, the explanation feels less important than the feeling of ease. These paths remove the need to decide. They allow movement to happen without thought, freeing attention to rest. As you imagine these slow routes, notice how different they feel from roads designed for speed. There are no straight lines demanding progress, no markers counting distance. The path curves gently, adapting to the land rather than reshaping it. Time behaves differently here. A journey does not measure itself in minutes or distance. It measures itself in comfort, in how little effort is required to continue. Animals pause along these paths without hesitation. They stop where warmth feels right, where shade settles comfortably, where the body suggests rest. The path does not insist on completion. It allows pauses to become part of the journey. As your thoughts drift alongside these slow movements, you may feel a release from the idea that movement must be purposeful, that travel must lead somewhere specific. Here, the act of moving is enough. The land continues to hold these faint traces, not as scars, but as gentle reminders. Evidence that presence, repeated quietly, can shape the world without force. And as we continue onward, these paths remain with us. They offer a soft lesson that progress does not always require speed. Sometimes it is made through patience, through returning again and again, letting time do the shaping, and allowing each step to be exactly as slow as it needs to be. Night in the Galápagos does not arrive with a sudden change. It settles gradually, like a calm presence finding its place. Light thins softly, colors deepen without effort, and the world adjusts in small, almost unnoticeable ways. There is no moment that asks for attention. The transition simply continues, unbroken and kind. As evening deepens, the air cools slightly, carried by a breeze that feels familiar rather than new. The ground, still holding warmth from the day, releases it slowly. Animals remain where they are, bodies relaxed, breathing steady. There is no need to seek shelter quickly. The open land remains welcoming. Sea lions rest close together, their forms darkening as the light fades. They do not stir as night arrives. Sleep deepens naturally, as if night has always been part of their resting posture. Occasional soft sounds, an exhale, a quiet murmur, drift briefly, then dissolve back into stillness. Birds settle into quieter positions, feathers drawn in gently. Some remain awake, eyes open but untroubled, aware without being alert. Others slip into rest where they perch, trusting balance and familiarity to hold them through the dark. On the lava fields, iguanas remain still, warmth lingering beneath them. The stone continues to offer comfort, blurring the boundary between day and night. Darkness does not remove what the day has given, it simply softens it. The soundscape shifts subtly. Waves continue their steady rhythm, unchanged by the absence of light. Wind quiets further, moving less often, lingering less when it does arrive. The island feels wrapped in a deeper layer of calm. Science explains nocturnal rhythms, temperature changes, and sensory adjustments. But here, those explanations feel unnecessary. Bodies respond instinctively. The night is recognized, not analyzed. Rest deepens because it is time, not because it is required. As you imagine this settling night, notice how little effort it asks of you. There is nothing to prepare for, nothing to finish. The day has already released its hold. Thoughts may begin to slow, following the same pattern. The mind no longer searches for what comes next. Attention drifts gently, resting where it lands. The stars appear quietly overhead if they are noticed at all. Their presence does not change behavior. They simply remain, distant and steady. The Galápagos at night feels complete, not diminished. Darkness does not take anything away. It adds depth, quiet, and continuity. And as we move forward from here, this gentle night stays with us. It offers a reminder that rest does not need a signal. Sometimes it arrives naturally, settling softly around us, asking nothing more than that we allow it to remain. In the Galápagos, sleep does not hide. It happens beneath open skies, where stars drift quietly overhead and the land remains wide and unconfined. There are no walls, no doors to close, no clear separation between waking and resting spaces. Animals sleep where they are, trusting the calm that surrounds them. Sea lions remain stretched across sand and stone, their bodies arranged comfortably, as if sleep simply found them there. Flippers rest loosely, heads tilt at gentle angles. Breathing slows into deep, even rhythms that match the steady sound of the sea nearby. The open air does not disturb them, it supports them. On warm lava fields, iguanas remain still, their forms dark against darker stone. The sky above expands endlessly, yet nothing feels exposed. The ground holds warmth. The night air stays soft. Sleep settles without resistance. Birds rest on low ledges or balanced perches, bodies tucked inward, feathers drawn close. They do not search for enclosed spaces. Balance and familiarity are enough. Their sleep feels light yet complete, carried by trust in the stillness of the night. Science might explain this openness as a result of low disturbance and predictable environments, but here, the reason feels simpler. The land feels safe. The sky feels constant. There is no need to retreat inward when the world outside remains gentle. As you imagine these scenes, notice how different open sleep feels from guarded rest. There is no tightening before release, no scanning for safety. Sleep arrives without negotiation, as natural as breathing. The stars above do not demand attention. They exist quietly, distant and steady. The moon, when present, casts soft light that shifts slowly across the ground, never startling, never sharp. Shadows move gently, like thoughts drifting without direction. This openness shapes how rest feels in the body. Muscles remain loose. Breathing deepens naturally. There is no sense of being enclosed or confined. Space itself becomes comforting. Animals wake briefly if they stir at all, then settle again without concern. Sleep comes and goes in gentle waves, not in strict cycles. Rest adapts to comfort rather than rules. As your thoughts drift alongside this open rest, you may feel your own sense of containment soften. The idea that sleep requires perfect conditions begins to fade. Here, rest happens because the world allows it, not because it is controlled. The Galápagos offers a quiet lesson in trust. That openness does not always mean vulnerability. That sometimes, being fully present in the open is the most restful state of all. As we continue onward, carry this image with you. Sleep beneath wide skies, held by warmth, rhythm, and stillness. Nothing presses in. Nothing needs to be shut out. Rest arrives freely, and the night holds it gently, without asking anything in return. The Galápagos Islands remember slowly. Their memory is not held in words or images, but in repetition, waves returning to the same shore, warmth settling into the same stone, footsteps passing gently over familiar ground. This memory does not record events. It holds patterns. The land has watched life arrive, settle, and continue without interruption. Over time, these quiet repetitions have softened the edges of everything. Rock becomes smooth where bodies rest. Paths appear where movement repeats. The air feels calm because it has carried the same rhythms for generations. Animals move within this memory without awareness of it. A tortoise follows a route worn by many before it. A sea lion returns to the same stretch of sand. Birds perch where countless wings have balanced previously. None of them recall these histories. They simply feel the ease left behind. This kind of memory does not demand attention. It supports without instruction. The land remembers, so the animals do not have to. Science might describe this as environmental stability, where predictable conditions shape behavior over time. But here, it feels more like familiarity, like returning to a place that already knows you. As you imagine this slow memory, notice how it changes the feeling of time. The present moment feels wider, less fragile. It is held by countless moments before it, all similar in their calm. The islands do not cling to the past. They do not rush toward the future. Their memory exists only to support continuity. Each day is allowed to resemble the last, and that sameness becomes comforting rather than dull. This memory shapes how rest feels. Animals lie down where others have rested. Sleep arrives more easily where sleep has happened before. The land itself seems to remember how to hold a body gently. As your thoughts drift alongside this idea, you may feel your own memories soften. The need to replay, to analyze, to resolve begins to loosen. Not all memory needs to be active. Some memory can simply exist as background support. The Galápagos remind us that not every experience needs to leave a mark. Some moments pass through gently, contributing to a larger pattern without standing out. The islands continue their quiet remembering through night and day. They hold warmth, sound, and movement without judgment. They release what is no longer needed. And as we move onward, this slow memory remains with us. It offers a peaceful idea that you do not need to carry everything forward consciously. Some things can be held for you, quietly, by the world itself, allowing you to rest more fully in the moment that is already here. There are places in the world where the land does more than simply exist beneath life. It notices. It responds. It remembers in a way that feels personal, though it asks nothing in return. In the Galápagos, this quiet relationship between land and life becomes gently visible, especially in moments of rest. Animals return again and again to the same spaces. A familiar curve of rock, a stretch of sand shaped just right, a patch of ground that holds warmth longer than others. Over time, these places begin to feel receptive, as though they have learned the shape of the bodies that trust them. The land does not change dramatically. It does not move to meet life. Instead, it receives small impressions, weight, warmth, presence, and holds them softly. These impressions fade slowly, blending back into the surface, leaving behind only a subtle sense of comfort. A sea lion settles into a familiar place, its body aligning naturally, as if the ground already knows where it will rest. A tortoise pauses where it has paused before, the earth offering the same steady support. An iguana stretches along stone that has warmed countless bodies, the surface ready without preparation. This relationship feels mutual, though it is silent. Life does not dominate the land, and the land does not resist life. They meet gently, each adjusting just enough to accommodate the other. Science might explain this through repeated use, through erosion and compression, through heat transfer and familiarity. But here, the explanation feels secondary. What remains is the feeling of being received. As you imagine this exchange, notice how different it feels from places that demand attention. The land here does not ask to be noticed. It simply remains dependable. Over time, that dependability becomes a kind of welcome. This quiet remembering shapes behavior. Animals return without hesitation. They settle more quickly. Rest deepens faster. The body relaxes because it recognizes the environment, even if it cannot name that recognition. As your thoughts drift alongside this idea, you may sense a similar longing to be somewhere that remembers you without expectation, a place where your presence does not need to be explained or justified, where simply arriving is enough. The Galápagos offer this through consistency. The light arrives predictably. The warmth lingers reliably. The ground remains steady. Over time, life learns that it can trust these patterns. The land does not record individual moments. It remembers rhythm. It remembers that bodies will return, that rest will happen, that life will continue quietly. And in that remembering, there's comfort, the sense that you do not need to hold everything yourself, that some part of the world is already prepared to support you. As we continue onward, let this feeling remain. The idea that somewhere, something remembers you simply by holding steady. That rest can deepen when the ground beneath you feels familiar. Here, in the quiet wonder of the islands, the land does not just exist. It remembers, and in doing so, it allows life to soften into trust. In the Galápagos, stillness does not mean absence. It does not suggest emptiness or inactivity. Instead, it carries a quiet intelligence, one that has been refined over long stretches of time. Here, remaining still is not a pause between actions. It is an action in itself. Animals rest without appearing alert or disengaged. A sea lion lies motionless, its body relaxed, breathing slow and deep. An iguana remains pressed to warm stone, eyes half closed, absorbing heat without movement. A bird stands quietly, weight balanced evenly, feathers smooth and settled. Nothing about this stillness feels accidental. Bodies are positioned carefully, though without effort. Muscles release only as much as needed. Energy is conserved without being withheld. The body listens closely to its own signals, responding with patience rather than urgency. Science might describe this as efficient energy regulation or thermoregulation, but here, stillness feels more thoughtful than mechanical. It feels like a choice shaped by experience, an understanding that doing less can achieve more. As you imagine these moments of quiet presence, notice how much information exists within stillness. The body senses temperature, light, sound, and balance. It adjusts subtly without visible motion. Stillness becomes a way of staying connected to the environment rather than withdrawing from it. The land supports this intelligence. Warmth rises gently from stone. Air remains calm. Sounds are predictable. The environment does not demand reaction, so awareness can remain wide and soft. As your attention drifts, you may begin to feel how different this kind of intelligence is from constant analysis. There is no problem solving here, no anticipation. Awareness exists without strain. This stillness also shapes relationships between animals. Resting together does not require negotiation. Each body respects the quiet of the other. Shared space remains calm because no one disrupts it. Over generations, this intelligent stillness becomes instinctive. Young animals mirror it naturally, learning that rest is not a break from life, but part of how life continues. As your own breathing slows, you may notice a similar intelligence within yourself. The body knows how to settle. Muscles soften when given permission. Thoughts drift when not held tightly. The Galápagos do not treat stillness as something to overcome. They allow it to guide daily rhythm. Movement arises when it feels right. Rest returns when it is complete. And as we continue onward, let this idea remain with you. Stillness does not mean nothing is happening. It means something is happening quietly, beneath the surface, guided by a wisdom that does not need to announce itself. Here, intelligence rests not in action, but in knowing when action is unnecessary and allowing the calm to do its gentle work. In the Galápagos, adaptation does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself with dramatic changes or sudden shifts. Instead, it settles in quietly, answering the needs of life with subtle adjustments that feel almost invisible. Here, adaptation is less about becoming something new and more about becoming comfortable with what already exists. Animals have learned to respond gently to their surroundings. A tortoise adjusts its pace to the warmth of the day. An iguana chooses stillness when the sea cools its body. Birds alter their posture slightly as light changes, conserving energy without thought. These adaptations do not stand out. They blend seamlessly into daily rhythm. Science often describes adaptation through traits and survival advantages. But watching life here, the process feels softer. It feels like listening and responding rather than striving and changing. The environment offers clear, steady signals. Temperature shifts slowly. Food appears predictably. Light moves in gentle arcs. Life adjusts by aligning itself with these patterns rather than resisting them. Adaptation becomes cooperation. As you imagine these small adjustments, notice how they require no urgency. There's time to respond, time to settle, time to let the body find its own balance. This softness extends beyond physical traits. Behavior adapts too. Animals learn when to rest, when to move, when to remain still. These choices are not forced. They feel intuitive, shaped by long familiarity with the land. Over generations, these gentle responses become instinctive. Life does not question them. It simply continues in harmony with the environment that shaped it. As your thoughts drift alongside this idea, you may feel a quiet reassurance. Adaptation does not always require effort or discomfort. Sometimes it arrives through ease, through allowing yourself to respond naturally to what is present. The Galápagos offer an alternative view of resilience. Resilience does not always mean endurance or resistance. It can mean flexibility, softness, the willingness to adjust without tension. Even the land adapts gently. Lava cools and becomes ground. Soil gathers slowly. Plants take root where conditions allow. Everything waits for the right moment rather than forcing growth. As we continue onward, carry this perspective with you. The idea that answers do not always need to be strong or immediate, that sometimes the most lasting solutions arrive quietly, through patience and attention. Here, adaptation is not a struggle. It is a soft answer to a steady world, a reminder that life can meet change without urgency, and that comfort and balance often emerge when we stop trying to move faster than the rhythm that already holds us. In the Galápagos, sunlight is not something claimed or competed over. It is shared quietly, spread across stone, sand, and resting bodies with equal generosity. As the sun rises higher, its warmth settles gently, inviting life to pause together beneath its glow. Animals gather in places where light lingers longest. Marine iguanas lie close to one another on dark lava, their bodies arranged like still notes in a slow composition. Sea lions rest side by side, flippers touching lightly, each one absorbing warmth without needing more than its share. Tortoises stand or sit where the sun reaches comfortably, their shells catching light and holding it patiently. This shared sunlight creates a quiet sense of community. No one shifts to block another. No one presses closer out of need. There's enough warmth for all, and the land seems to understand this, offering wide surfaces where many can rest at once. Science explains that sunlight regulates body temperature and supports essential processes. But here, the experience feels less functional and more poetic. Light becomes a common language, one that touches everything gently and leaves nothing out. As you imagine this scene, notice how the sunlight does not rush across the land. It lingers, it drifts. Shadows move slowly, tracing the passage of time without urgency. Animals adjust subtly, turning a little, stretching a limb, then return to stillness. This shared warmth shapes behavior. Rest deepens when bodies feel supported. Breathing slows, movement becomes optional. The presence of others does not disturb the calm, it enhances it. Birds join this quiet gathering too, perching where light feels softest. Feathers catch faint highlights, then settle back into muted tones. Even flight feels unnecessary when warmth and rest are already present. The land itself participates in this exchange. Dark stone absorbs light and releases it gradually, extending the comfort long after the sun shifts away. The ground becomes part of the shared experience, holding warmth for everyone equally. As your thoughts drift alongside this image, you may feel a subtle sense of belonging. The idea that comfort does not need to be exclusive, that warmth can be shared without loss, that rest can happen together without intrusion. The Galápagos offer this quiet lesson daily. Light arrives, life gathers, stillness deepens, nothing is taken from anyone else. As we continue onward, let this poetry remain with you, the image of many bodies resting beneath the same sun, connected not by effort or intention, but by simple presence. Here, sunlight is not a resource to be guarded. It is a gentle invitation, shared freely, reminding all who rest beneath it that there is room enough for calm to belong to everyone. In the Galápagos, life unfolds without the constant hum of alertness. There is no background tension asking bodies to remain prepared, no invisible pressure to stay ready for sudden change. Instead, the islands offer a rare experience, days and nights shaped by ease, where awareness can remain open without becoming sharp. Animals move and rest without scanning their surroundings repeatedly. A sea lion sleeps deeply, its breathing slow and even, unconcerned by open space. A bird stands nearby, balanced calmly, eyes soft rather than watchful. An iguana rests on warm stone, body heavy and relaxed, as if the idea of alarm never fully formed. This absence of constant vigilance changes everything. Muscles do not stay partially engaged. Breathing does not hover at the edge of readiness. The body settles fully into each moment, whether that moment is movement or rest. Science might explain this calm through isolation and predictable conditions. With few disturbances, the nervous systems of animals do not remain on high alert, but experiencing this calm feels less technical and more intuitive. It feels like a deep permission to relax. As you imagine these scenes, notice how quiet the internal world becomes when alarm fades. Thoughts slow, sensations soften. The boundary between awareness and rest begins to blur. Without constant alarm, time stretches. Moments feel wider. Animals are not pulled forward by anticipation. They exist fully where they are, allowing the day to unfold without resistance. The environment supports this ease. Sounds remain gentle and familiar. Light changes gradually. Temperature shifts slowly. Nothing arrives abruptly. The world gives plenty of notice before asking for adjustment. As your attention drifts alongside this rhythm, you may feel your own sense of readiness loosen. The habit of bracing begins to fade. There is nothing here that needs quick response. This does not mean life is dull or unresponsive. Awareness remains present, but it is calm awareness, wide, soft, and unforced. It is the difference between listening quietly and straining to hear. Animals respond when needed, but they do not wait for something to go wrong. They trust the continuity of their environment. This trust allows rest to deepen and movement to remain smooth. The Galápagos offer a rare vision of what life can feel like without constant alarm. A life where the nervous system is allowed to settle, where stillness feels safe, and where awareness can rest alongside the body. As we continue onward, let this feeling stay with you. Imagine what it would be like to move through a day without bracing for interruption, to rest without listening for disturbance. Here, on these quiet islands, life shows that calm awareness is not something to achieve. It emerges naturally when the world itself feels steady enough to support it. In the Galápagos, seasons do not arrive with sharp edges. They do not announce themselves loudly or divide the year into strict chapters. Instead, they drift in and out gently, like slow breaths taken by the land itself. Each change feels gradual, almost imperceptible, as if time is stretching comfortably rather than moving forward. Warmth lingers across months. Light remains familiar. Even when the air cools slightly or the sea shifts its temperature, the transition feels smooth and unhurried. Animals adjust without noticeable effort, responding instinctively to subtle cues rather than dramatic signals. A sea lion rests through these changes, its behavior largely unchanged. An iguana remains close to warm stone, adjusting posture only slightly as conditions shift. Birds continue their quiet routines, unbothered by the gentle variations in light and wind. Science describes seasonal changes through currents, temperature patterns, and atmospheric movement. But experiencing them here feels more like sensing a mood than observing a shift. The environment inhales, then exhales. Life follows naturally. As you imagine these breathing seasons, notice how comforting predictability can be when it is soft rather than rigid. There is no pressure to prepare for extremes, no need to brace for sudden change. The world moves kindly from one state to the next. This softness shapes how rest feels. Animals do not need to adjust sleep patterns abruptly. Rest deepens or lightens naturally, guided by subtle shifts in temperature and sound. The body responds without instruction. As your attention drifts alongside this rhythm, you may feel a similar ease. The idea that time can pass without forcing adaptation. The change does not always require effort. The land itself reflects this breathing pattern. Plants respond slowly, adjusting growth without haste. The sea maintains its steady rhythm, unaffected by minor variations. The sky continues to offer familiar light, day after day. These seasons do not demand awareness. They do not ask to be noticed. They simply exist, shaping life gently in the background. As we continue onward, let this image remain with you, the land breathing softly, life rising and settling with each slow cycle. Here, seasons do not disrupt, they soothe. They remind us that change can be as gentle as breath, arriving quietly, staying briefly, and leaving without taking anything away. In the Galápagos, the day does not ask to be filled. It arrives whole, complete in its own quiet way, and life moves within it without trying to add or subtract anything. There's a gentle understanding here that the day, just as it is already enough. Animals do not measure their days by accomplishments. A sea lion rests, wakes briefly, shifts position, and rests again. Nothing feels unfinished. A tortoise wanders a short distance, pauses, feeds lightly, then stands still for a long while. The day holds all of this without needing more. There is no sense of rushing to use every moment. Time is not treated as something that might run out. Instead, it stretches comfortably, allowing rest and movement to share space without conflict. As the sun moves slowly across the sky, light changes subtly, but the mood remains steady. Animals respond with small adjustments, turning slightly toward warmth, settling deeper into shade, never feeling compelled to do more than is needed. Science might explain that limited resources encourage efficiency, but here, efficiency feels less like management and more like acceptance. Life does not try to extract everything from the day. It receives what the day offers. As you imagine this rhythm, notice how different it feels from striving. There is no sense of being behind, no pressure to optimize. The day unfolds naturally, and that unfolding is allowed to be sufficient. The environment supports this ease. Food appears predictably, resting places remain available, sound stays gentle. Nothing pushes life toward excess. Animals seem to understand instinctively when the day has given enough. When warmth fades, they rest. When hunger is satisfied, they stop. There is no lingering sense of lack. As your thoughts drift alongside this idea, you may feel a quiet release. The idea that a day does not need to be maximized to be meaningful can feel deeply comforting. That simply existing within the rhythm of time can be enough. The Galápagos offer this lesson without instruction. They show how satisfaction can arise from alignment rather than achievement, how contentment can emerge when expectations soften. As evening approaches, the day does not leave behind a list of unfinished tasks. It fades gently, carrying its quiet completeness into the night. And as we continue onward, let this feeling remain with you. The sense that you do not need to do more, be more, or hold more. That the day you are in, like the days of these islands, can be allowed to be enough just as it is, inviting rest without explanation. In the Galápagos, change does not require departure. Life here has learned how to return again and again without ever truly leaving. Movement happens within a small, familiar range, and yet each return feels gentle and complete, as if the land itself has been waiting patiently. Animals wander only short distances. A tortoise traces a familiar route, pauses, and settles again near where it began. A sea lion drifts briefly into the water, then returns to the same stretch of shore. Birds lift lightly into the air, circle once or twice, and land close by. Nothing pulls them far away. Everything they need remains near. This pattern creates a feeling of continuity. The world does not fragment into separate places for feeding, resting, and sleeping. Instead, all of life unfolds within a shared space where returning feels natural rather than intentional. Science might describe this as small home ranges or efficient use of habitat. But here, the behavior feels more emotional than practical. It feels like belonging, like choosing to remain close to what feels steady and known. As you imagine these gentle returns, notice how little effort they require. There is no packing, no preparation, no sense of absence. Leaving and returning blur into one soft motion, like breathing out and then in again. The land supports this closeness. It offers warmth in familiar places. It holds paths that feel easy underfoot. It presents food and rest without demanding travel. Over time, life learns that there is no need to seek far away what already exists here. As your thoughts drift alongside this rhythm, you may feel a quiet comfort in the idea of staying close, of not needing distance to find renewal, of allowing rest and return to happen in the same space. This way of living softens the sense of time passing. Days do not feel separate from one another. Each day resembles the last just enough to feel reassuring. Change happens gently, without disruption. Animals rest more deeply when they know where they are. Familiarity allows the body to release tension more fully. Sleep arrives easily when the surroundings are known. The Galápagos offer this quiet lesson that renewal does not always require escape, that returning can happen without leaving, that rest can be found not by moving away, but by settling more deeply into where you already are. As we prepare to move into the final descent of this journey, let this idea remain with you. The feeling of being held by familiarity, of knowing that you can pause, rest, and return all within the same gentle space. Here, the world does not ask you to go far. It invites you to stay and to find calm exactly where you are. As the Galápagos settle deeper into quiet, we return gently to the question that has been resting beneath everything we've seen, the question that never asked for a quick answer, the one that waited patiently, like warmth held in stone. What happens to life when nothing rushes it? The islands seem to answer not with words, but with feeling, with the slow breathing of resting animals, with the steady presence of land that does not change its mind, with days that arrive and leave without leaving anything unfinished behind. Life here did not become calm by accident. It became calm because calm was allowed to stay. Over time, the absence of urgency shaped everything. The way bodies move, the way rest deepens, the way attention softens instead of tightening. The question no longer feels abstract. It feels embodied. You can see its answer in a tortoise standing still without waiting, in a sea lion sleeping openly beneath the sky, in birds remaining close, untroubled by nearness. When nothing rushes life, life learns to remain. The islands show that slowness does not remove meaning. It reveals it. When movement slows, presence expands. When time stretches, moments feel fuller rather than longer. As you imagine this, notice how the question begins to dissolve into something simpler. There is no need to define the answer. It is already settled into the rhythm of the place. Perhaps life does not need urgency to feel complete. Perhaps it does not need constant motion to remain alive. Perhaps stillness is not the absence of living, but one of its most natural expressions. The Galápagos do not argue for this idea. They demonstrate it quietly, day after day, night after night. The land continues to hold. The sea continues to return. The animals continue to rest when rest feels right. As your thoughts drift alongside this return, you may notice a similar quiet unfolding within yourself. The mind no longer searches for conclusions. The body no longer prepares for what comes next. The need to move forward gently loosens its grip. You do not need to answer the question fully. You do not need to carry it forward. It can remain here, resting beneath the surface, like warmth stored in stone, available when needed, but never demanding attention. As we begin this descent toward deeper rest, allow the question to settle completely. Let it become less something to think about and more something to feel. A sense of permission, a sense of ease. Here, where nothing rushes life, nothing rushes you either. The world continues quietly, and you are free to remain exactly where you are, carried gently by the same calm rhythm that holds these islands through every unhurried night. In the Galápagos, rest does not explain itself. It does not arrive with instruction or justification. It simply happens quietly, as if it has always been part of the landscape. Animals rest, not because they are finished, but because rest belongs naturally within the rhythm of living. A sea lion sleeps deeply, its body fully supported by sand and stone. There is no tension left in its posture, no sign of waiting for something else to begin. Rest is not a pause here, it is a state of being. Nearby, a bird remains perched, eyes half closed, balanced easily. It is not fully asleep, and yet it is resting. Awareness remains, but it is soft, unfocused, and unbothered. The body has found a place where it does not need to decide what comes next. This kind of rest teaches without words. It shows that recovery does not require effort. That restoration can happen simply by allowing stillness to last long enough. The body knows what to do when it is not interrupted. Science often describes rest as a function, repair, regulation, recovery. But watching life here, rest feels less purposeful and more complete. It is not something that leads somewhere else. It is enough on its own. As you imagine these quiet scenes, notice how rest here does not try to be perfect. Animals shift slightly when needed. They wake briefly, then settle again. Rest is flexible. It adapts gently to comfort rather than following strict rules. This ease allows rest to deepen naturally. Breathing slows without instruction. Muscles release without effort. The nervous system settles because nothing is asking it to stay alert. The environment supports this wordless teaching. Sounds remain familiar and steady. Light changes gradually. Temperature shifts gently. Nothing startles the body awake. As your thoughts drift alongside this lesson, you may feel your own understanding of rest soften. The idea that rest must be earned or scheduled begins to loosen. Perhaps rest can arrive simply because the moment allows it. The Galápagos show that rest does not need to be optimized. It does not need to be measured. It happens when the world feels safe enough to support it. Animals do not worry about whether they have rested enough. They rest until they are ready to move again. And when movement returns, it does so gently, without breaking the calm that rest created. As we continue this descent towards sleep, let this quiet teaching remain with you. Rest does not need to speak to be understood. It does not need explanation. It simply needs space. Here, in this gentle world, rest is not a reward. It is a companion, arriving softly, staying as long as it wishes, and leaving only when the body feels ready, without urgency, without sound. As night deepens in the Galápagos, the wind begins to change its character. It does not stop entirely, but it softens, moving with less intention, lingering less as it passes. The air feels calmer, heavier in a comforting way, as if the island itself is settling into rest. Earlier in the day, the breeze moved freely, brushing across stone and water. Now it drifts more slowly, arriving without direction and leaving without trace. When it touches the skin or feathers of resting animals, it does so gently, like a reminder rather than a signal. Sea lions remain still, their bodies relaxed, breathing deep and steady. The softened wind passes over them without prompting movement. Birds remain perched, feathers lying smoothly, balance unbroken. Iguanas press quietly into warm stone, barely noticing the shift in air. This gentle change in the wind marks the descent toward deeper stillness. It does not announce night, it confirms it. The world no longer needs to adjust. Everything has already settled. Science might describe this as cooling temperatures reducing air movement, but experiencing it feels more intimate. The wind seems to understand when its presence is no longer needed. As you imagine this softening air, notice how your own body responds. Shoulders ease, breath slows. There's no need to listen closely. The environment no longer carries information that requires attention. Sounds grow more distant, more blended. Waves continue their steady rhythm, but even they seem quieter now, as if responding to the softened air. The island feels wrapped in a deeper layer of calm. The wind's gentleness allows rest to deepen further. There is no interruption, no reminder of the outside world, just a sense of being held within a quiet space where nothing presses inward. As your thoughts drift alongside this scene, you may notice how little remains to focus on. The mind releases detail. Attention spreads thinly, comfortably, no longer anchored to any one image. The Galápagos at this hour feel complete. The day has released its warmth. The night has settled fully. The wind, having done its part, steps back. Animals remain undisturbed, sleep deepening naturally. The land continues to hold warmth where needed. The sea maintains its rhythm without change. As we continue toward the final moments of this journey, let this soft wind remain with you. The feeling of air that does not ask anything, of movement that no longer moves. Here, when the wind grows soft, the world invites everything within it to rest more deeply, without effort, without thought, and without needing to know what comes next. At a certain point in the night, the Galápagos stop offering direction. There is nothing left to watch, nothing left to anticipate. The world no longer unfolds in sequences. It simply rests, complete and unchanging. Movement has softened almost entirely. Sea lions lie motionless, their breathing the only sign of life, slow and steady like a tide that no longer reaches the shore. Birds remain perched, perfectly balanced, bodies quiet and settled. Iguanas rest against stone that still holds a trace of the day's warmth, unmoved by the passing of time. There are no signals now, no cues to respond to. The night does not introduce new sounds or changes. It holds what is already here and asks nothing more. This is the moment when attention naturally loosens its grip. The mind no longer needs to track the environment. There's nothing new to follow, nothing to hold on to. Awareness spreads thinly, gently, like light fading into darkness. Science might describe this as the nervous system settling fully, shifting toward deep rest. But here, the experience feels simpler. It feels like permission. Permission to stop observing. Permission to stop listening for what comes next. As you imagine this quiet completeness, notice how little effort it requires. There is no instruction to relax, no guidance to follow. The world itself has done the work by becoming still enough to allow rest. Thoughts may drift now without forming clear shapes. Images soften, sensations blur at the edges. The body knows what to do when there is nothing left to attend to. The Galápagos offer this moment without ceremony. They do not mark it as special. It arrives naturally as part of the night's deepening calm. Animals do not distinguish this moment from any other. They simply remain where they are, held by familiarity and warmth. Sleep deepens not because it is commanded, but because nothing interrupts it. As your own awareness drifts alongside this stillness, you may feel the same easing. The desire to stay aware fades. The need to remain present relaxes. There is nothing left to follow, and that absence feels gentle rather than empty. The island remains steady beneath the stars. The sea continues its quiet rhythm. The land holds everything without movement. And as we prepare to enter the final rest, allow yourself to release completely. There is no more story to track, no more images to hold. The world is resting, and you are welcome to rest with it, carried softly by a night that asks nothing, offers nothing new, and allows everything to remain exactly as it is. The last traces of light linger gently over the Galápagos, thinning until they are barely distinguishable from the night itself. There is no clear edge where light ends and darkness begins. One simply softens into the other, like a breath slowly released. Over the lava fields, warmth remains, held patiently by stone that remembers the day. The surface no longer reflects light, yet it continues to offer comfort. Bodies resting there remain still, supported by this quiet exchange. Nothing stirs, nothing needs to. The sea mirrors this calm. Its surface darkens, smoothing into long, steady movements that feel more sensed than seen. Waves continue their rhythm, unchanged, uncounted. They arrive, rest for a moment, then return to the open water without sound that asks to be noticed. Animals sleep deeply now. Sea lions lie as they have all evening, their breathing slow and even, blending with the rhythm of the shore. Birds remain balanced and quiet, feathers tucked gently, their presence light and complete. Iguanas remain pressed to stone, bodies relaxed, warmth traveling slowly inward. The island feels settled, as if everything has found its place and sees no reason to move from it. The air is still, holding temperature evenly. The sky stretches overhead without interruption, vast and unremarkable in its steadiness. As you imagine this thinning light, notice how the world no longer presents details. Shapes soften, boundaries blur. Attention no longer needs to focus. The scene does not ask to be pictured clearly. It is enough to feel its calm presence. This is the beginning of full rest, not a moment marked by change, but by continuity. The day has not ended so much as it has dissolved, leaving behind only what is essential: breath, warmth, stillness. Your own body may respond to this quiet. Breathing slows naturally. Muscles release without instruction. Thoughts become less defined, drifting gently without direction or purpose. There is no need to stay with the image of the islands now. They continue without observation. The lava holds warmth, the sea keeps its rhythm, life rests. The Galápagos do not fade away. They remain steady and quiet, whether noticed or not. Their calm does not depend on attention. As this final rest deepens, allow the scene to loosen its hold. Let the images soften into sensation. Let sensation soften into quiet. Here, where light thins and the world rests fully, there's nothing left to do, nothing left to follow, only the gentle continuation of calm, carrying everything within it. And as you drift further into rest, know that this stillness remains, unchanged, unhurried, holding the islands, the night, and your own quiet presence together in the same slow, peaceful rhythm. Beneath everything that rests in the Galápagos, there is a rhythm that does not stop when the world grows quiet. It continues gently, steady, and reliable, carrying life through the night without needing attention. This rhythm is not loud or pronounced. It is felt more than heard, like a pulse moving softly beneath the surface. The sea keeps it first. Waves rise and fall in long, even cycles, uncounted and unchanging. Each movement follows the last without variation, as if the ocean itself is breathing in its sleep. There is no effort in this motion. It happens because it always has. The land follows this rhythm as well. Warmth moves slowly through stone, releasing itself without urgency. The ground cools gradually, holding on to comfort for as long as it can. Nothing shifts suddenly. Everything transitions gently, guided by time rather than force. Animals remain settled within this steady pulse. Sea lions breathe deeply, their chests rising and falling in perfect ease. Birds rest quietly, balance maintained without thought. Iguanas remain still, warmth lingering within their bodies long after the sun has gone. This rhythm does not belong to any single creature or element. It belongs to the whole. It is the quiet agreement between sea and land, between night and body, between stillness and continuation. As you imagine this underlying pulse, notice how it mirrors your own breathing. Inhale arrives, exhale follows. Neither rushes the other. There is space between each breath, and that space feels safe. You do not need to adjust your breathing to match it. The alignment happens naturally, without effort. The body recognizes the rhythm because it is familiar, ancient, and kind. Thoughts may continue to drift, but they move more slowly now. They appear briefly, then dissolve back into the background. The mind no longer needs to hold on to them. The rhythm beneath sleep carries everything forward. The Galápagos rest fully within this gentle movement. Nothing interrupts it. Nothing accelerates it. The night holds steady, allowing the rhythm to remain unchanged. As you sink deeper into rest, allow this pulse to fade from awareness as well. It does not need to be followed consciously. It will continue without attention. Here, beneath sleep, beneath thought, beneath sensation, the rhythm remains, quiet, patient, and complete. It holds the islands, the sea, the night, and your own resting body within the same calm flow. There is nothing you need to do to stay with it, nothing to remember, nothing to maintain. The rhythm beneath sleep carries on, just as it always has, gently supporting rest until morning arrives, unannounced and unhurried. In its own distant time, there is a kind of stillness in the Galápagos that does not feel empty. It feels supportive, as if the quiet itself has weight, gentle, steady, and reassuring. This stillness does not press inward. It surrounds softly, holding everything without effort. The land rests fully now. Lava fields lie dark and warm beneath the night sky, their surfaces unchanged, familiar. The sea continues its slow movement, but even that motion feels distant, like something happening far away, no longer asking to be noticed. The air remains calm, neither warm nor cool enough to require adjustment. Animals sleep within this stillness, as if it were part of their bodies. Sea lions remain completely at ease, their breathing deep and regular, each breath arriving and leaving without thought. Birds stay balanced and quiet, feathers settled, presence light. Iguanas remain pressed gently into stone, warmth lingering just enough to feel comforting. Nothing shifts, nothing needs to. The stillness holds everything in place, not rigidly, but kindly. As you imagine this scene, notice how the idea of effort fades. There is nothing to maintain, nothing to monitor. The world has settled into a position that feels final for the night, as if it has decided to remain exactly as it is. This stillness does not demand awareness. It allows awareness to soften, to widen, and then to drift. Attention no longer needs to land anywhere specific. It can float gently, untethered. Your own body may feel heavier now, not with weight, but with ease. Muscles release without instruction. Breathing continues quietly, steady and natural. The boundary between body and surface softens, as if the ground beneath you is doing some of the holding. The Galápagos offer this kind of stillness naturally. It is not created. It emerges when nothing interrupts it. When movement has finished for the night, when sound has settled, when light has fully thinned away, thoughts become less distinct here. They do not disappear, but they lose their shape. Images blur gently. The need to follow them fades. Stillness becomes the dominant presence. This is the kind of quiet that does not feel like absence. It feels like arrival, like reaching a place where nothing further is required. As we move deeper into this final rest, allow yourself to be held by this stillness. You do not need to stay aware of it. It will remain whether you notice it or not. Here, in this calm space, stillness is not something you create. It is something you are allowed to rest inside, steady, patient, and complete, holding you gently as sleep continues to deepen on its own. Time in the Galápagos feels older than measurement. It does not move in minutes or hours. It moves in layers, settling one upon another, carrying the weight of countless quiet nights like this one. In this place, time does not press forward. It drifts, slow and unresisting, as if it has nowhere else it needs to be. The islands have rested through ages of gentle repetition. Nights have arrived and softened. Mornings have returned without hurry. The land has learned the rhythm so well that it no longer marks the passing of each moment. It simply continues. Animals sleep within this ancient flow, unaware of how long it has been moving. Sea lions breathe steadily, their bodies rising and falling in a rhythm that feels timeless. Birds remain balanced and still, held by instincts older than thought. Iguanas rest against stone that is cooled and warmed through centuries of the same quiet cycle. Nothing counts the hours here. The night does not advance toward an ending. It expands gently, allowing rest to deepen without boundary. As you imagine this drifting time, notice how the idea of duration begins to fade. There is no sense of how long you have been here, or how long you will remain. Time loosens its shape, becoming something soft and wide rather than narrow and directional. Thoughts slow further now, no longer arranging themselves into sequences. They appear briefly, then dissolve, as if carried away by a slow current beneath awareness. The mind no longer tries to keep track. There is nothing to track. Your body follows this ancient rhythm naturally. Breathing remains slow and even. Muscles stay released. Sensation becomes muted, gentle, almost distant. The feeling of being here blends with the feeling of resting. The Galápagos remains steady beneath this drifting time. The sea continues its movement without variation. The land holds warmth quietly. The sky remains open and unchanged. This ancient rhythm does not require participation. You do not need to align with it consciously. It carries you whether you notice it or not. As this final sense of time softens even further, allow yourself to drift with it. There is no destination, no arrival point ahead, only continuation, smooth and uninterrupted. Here, time is not something to move through. It is something to float within. And as you drift deeper into rest, this ancient flow holds everything gently, unchanged, unhurried, and perfectly content to let sleep continue without end or expectation. The Galápagos rest fully now, held within a calm that no longer shifts or deepens. It simply remains. The land, the sea, the air, all have settled into a shared stillness that feels complete, as if nothing more could be added without disturbing its balance. There is no longer a sense of night moving forward. Time has softened into a quiet presence, wide and unmarked. The islands continue as they always have, without urgency, without direction, without need. Sea lions breathe slowly in the darkness, their bodies supported by familiar ground. Birds remain balanced and quiet, feathers resting gently against their bodies. Iguanas lie pressed to stone that still holds a trace of warmth. The day lingering just enough to feel comforting. Nothing changes, and nothing needs to. The sea continues its steady motion, though it feels distant now, more like a memory of sound than sound itself. Waves rise and fall somewhere beyond awareness, repeating a pattern too familiar to demand attention. The air remains calm, resting evenly across the land. This is the quiet where stories dissolve, where images soften and fade, where attention no longer needs to hold on to anything at all. As you remain here, notice how little effort is required to continue resting. Breathing happens on its own. Muscles remain released. Thoughts no longer gather or scatter. They simply drift, then disappear, leaving behind a gentle spaciousness. The Galápagos do not ask to be remembered in detail. They do not need to be pictured clearly. Their calm exists whether it is noticed or not. The islands continue to rest, steady and unchanged, carrying their ancient rhythm forward through the night. You are not separate from this stillness. You are resting within the same quiet flow. Nothing distinguishes your breath from the breath of the sea. Nothing separates your rest from the rest of the land. There's nothing left to follow, no question to return to, no journey to continue. Everything that needed to unfold has already done so, gently and without effort. As sleep deepens further, allow the final images to release completely. Let sensation soften. Let awareness thin and spread until it no longer holds shape. Here, the wild does not rush. It does not pause. It simply flows. Everything flows through the wild. Sleep in that motion.